What's up, everybody? Thanks so much for joining us again for another live podcast from Broke to Millions, where we share the secrets of success for life, money, and real estate. This podcast is for the person who wants to elevate their life, money, and real estate game, a real life money monopoly. Whether you're a sophisticated investor, whether you're a beginner, whether you want to be active or passive, accredited or not accredited, I will share with you all of my ups and downs. So whatever you need assistance, you can leverage my experience and turn it all the way around, because here at Nassau, we're the #1 real estate experts with real solutions. But before we get started today, I have to tell you about our sponsor today. And normally it's our book, From Broke to Million. If you haven't heard, my man Les Brown, yes, there's greatness in you. I see it. Yes, Les Brown just endorsed our book as well, man. But we got the Bird 360. Is that a screen we can show real quick?
Oh, you know what?
No. Oh, damn it. Bird 360, September 13th through the 16th, here in Cincinnati, Ohio, Sharonville at the Delta. All right, not like the Delta, not like the Delta in New Orleans or whatever, but it's the Delta in Sharonville, Cincinnati. All right, we're gonna have a lot of special guests, man, and I'm not gonna tell you who, but it's going down. All right. Matter of fact, we got a special guest today, man. My man Jairus is in the building. My man went from like broke and people robbing him to like $1 million in 5 years. Yeah, he followed some of our secrets, man.
And over 1,000 deals. Right?
1,000 deals?
That's crazy.
Yeah, he's a flipper. He's
not
definitely
1,000 units, but over 1,000 deals.
Yeah, Jairus beast. But before we get into Jairus, well, I don't want to get into Jairus, but before we talk to Jairus. What's up, Walt? Potty Piper, what's going down?
Can't hear me, but I'm fantastic.
Oh, because you gave up your mic? We got 4 mics. Where's our other mic? It's in the box. You didn't.
I don't have a stand for it.
You didn't have a stand before. I'm trying to fire this guy every week. God damn, man.
I'm like, baby,
Try to fire this guy every week. Every week is something new, man.
Because you love me.
Jesus.
You love me.
All the way from the Philippines via Avondale, Cincinnati, Ohio, Wendell the Guzman.
Hey, how are you guys?
What's up, man? How you doing, brother?
Good. So today is very exciting, Mike. You know,
what's so exciting?
We will teach people how to go from 1 rental unit or 1 rental door to 100 units in 12 months or less.
What?
So we'll share with them 3 things and 1 mindset shift that they need to make in order to make that happen.
That's really great.
And then we have a special guest, as Mike said. We have Jairus, who has done over 1,000 real estate deals.
What?
Crazy.
1,000
We'll
deals?
answer all of your questions, so Jairus can help answer the
man, damn Jairus, he ain't that good.
I mean, if you've done over 1,000 deals, you know.
That means you got experience?
Yeah, you know.
Shit.
There is definitely, you know, something that
it's my show. I'm supposed to be the man.
We can all learn from each other, Mike.
Okay. All right. If you say so.
And then, guys, stay until the very end of the show because, well, 2 things. 1, you will learn, in my mind, you know, is the most important aspect in all of this, and that is your mindset. Because you can learn all these techniques. We can have all the great guests, right, and learn from them. But if you don't believe that you can do it, you know, then if you don't have the right mindset, then nothing happens, right?
That's right.
And then stay until the very end, guys, because we will give. Did you bring your book? No.
Yeah, I got
it. Okay. So
we gotta give a book away.
yeah, we will.
Everybody gets a book.
A book away. Not everybody.
Oh, okay. Be clear about. Oh, whoa, slow down.
Just one of you who stay until the very end.
This
of the
ain't
show.
Oprah.
Okay. We'll get Jerry's book and Mike's book.
Yeah,
and they're both.
So somebody will
autographed.
get both our books.
Both autographed.
Everybody
so,
won't get a book, so don't reach
right.
under your laptop.
So stay until
the book
very
won't
end.
be under your book. My book won't be under your laptop.
All right. So with that, let's jump right in, Mike.
All right, man. What is going on? What we got? And Jairus is going to step in. Did we just show everybody Jairus today? I need that. Love the jersey in the back. Yes. Hey, man, you know what? Before we get started, where are you from, man? Where are you checking in from? What group? Burr Invest, Apartment Investing Secrets? Put it in the chat, man.
Yeah, put it in the chat.
And I love when y'all send me hearts, man. I really do. It makes my heart pitter pat.
On Instagram.
Pittsburgh, of course. Pittsburgh in the building.
And next week we will also do this through a live broadcast on YouTube.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, we stepping up.
Yeah, we just figured that out today. How to do exactly that. So, all right. And for those of you, we will have the replay of this as well.
All right, stop talking, man. People don't want to hear us. They want information.
Okay, go ahead, Mike. Let's jump right in.
I didn't really mean that. I'm sorry.
You're gonna need to find new co-hosts if you keep talking about it. Jeez.
I hate everybody on this damn show. Hey, where's the screen at? Will you fire this guy?
Are you ready?
I am. I've been waiting on it. Didn't you just hear me yell at window?
Okay, let's jump right in, man. Let's do it.
Quiet on the set.
This thing's falling over.
Okay.
We got a lot going on around here. All right.
Let's continue. Let's move on.
I know, right? Who's tap dancing? Yo. Yeah. Hey, so how to go from one rental unit to 100 units in just 12 months. We're going to show you how some of our students, and I can't say myself because I myself took the long route. Mine was more like 20 years, maybe 15, where all my students are starting to do this in 12 months. All right. So let's get going. In case you didn't know me, that is my old look. I got a new one. We got some new gear, but I lost it all in 2002, 2003, recovered, restarted my investing career. Now I own over 1,500 units, 40 houses, industrial warehouse, about 4 hotels, going on our 5th, building a hotel and hybrid of hotel and condos in Sarasota, and many more developments to come. All right, let's go. So just to go into 12 months, first of all, the mindset must change.
Yep, very important.
And then 3 things, okay? So the mindset, and then there's 3 things. What is that?
Okay, next slide.
All right, so here's the mindset change you need to make. It's so many different things. This is more direct. First of all, stop doing everything yourself. You need to be the big deal maker. Look, whenever I tried to keep doing everything all by myself, guess what?
Disaster happens.
Oh, man. Hey, like you said, I was buying in F areas and I was F'd up. All right. So, stop doing everything yourself. You got to start putting a team together. In order to put the team together, you got to be the big deal maker. Now, we're going to that a little later as well. But that's one of the big shifts you got to do. Let's go to the next one here and see what it says. So look, as the big deal maker, there's multiple things. Like, you're the guy in the middle. You see that guy in the suit? Now, I'm not saying you have to wear a suit. You can wear a T-shirt like us and you get your From Broke to Million, shirt. But you got to be the guy that puts it all together. Somebody brings the deal. You then go get people to line up credit partners who can guarantee your debt. Then you get people to line up experienced operator who will manage it. And then you go get private investors. Yes. So it's kind of like how I was when I was in high school and college. I was a promoter. Guess what I did? All I did was put everything together for people to entertain. And because of that, they paid me. They paid me $5, $10, $20, $30, $50 at the door per person. All right. So You want to be the big deal maker, but just with real estate. Next. Here's an example of that. We acquired over 137 units combined. Okay. 137 units. And guess what? My investment time and effort, no money out of pocket. Now, I'm not going to say I didn't have any time or effort, but for the most part, we didn't manage it. The other partners took it on. They wanted to be more hands-on, so I let them. And they managed it. And guess what? A couple of years later, we turned that into a $5 million profit.
So wait, Mike, you're saying you made $5 million almost, and you didn't have to deal with tenants, toilets, and trash.
I ain't deal with the 3 T's, baby.
Man, that's awesome.
I don't, you know, hey, what they say? Was that, what's the Microsoft dude? Bill Gates? Was it Bill Gates?
Yeah.
Like, let's hire a lazy person because he'll figure out an easy way of getting it done.
Yep.
That's me.
Yep, that's Mike.
I'll be like, ooh, I got a deal. Well, how do we do it? It's a lot of work. Well, what we do? I know who'll do it, and then we can make money. And you fit you, but the thing is, you got to add value.
Yep.
That's the key, is adding value to everything. All right, let's go to the next one. Instagram, you can hear me over there? Or are we on there? But Mike, when you're partnering with people, you only get very small slice of the pie.
What if I told you there's no pie?
Yeah, exactly. What are you going to do?
It's not about the pie, guys.
Yeah, you got to get rid of that mentality. Don't get me wrong. When I did my hotel, like now, there's a perfect example. What's 10% of a million? What's 10% of a million?
100,000.
100,000. What's 10% of zero?
Zero.
There you go. Which one you want? Because you can be like, I don't want no partners. Well, you ain't got no money. If you had money, you wouldn't be on this pod. Well, you probably still would be on this podcast listening, but you would be doing your own deals by yourself. But you need to expand. You need to grow. And in order to do that, you got to start thinking bigger and outside the box and quit trying to do everything yourself. Let's go.
Yep. Next slide.
So what would you rather have? Do deals on your own with no partners. So you have 100% of $1 million, right? Here we go. Here's an example. 100% of $1 million portfolio, or $1 million portfolio that earns you $80,000 a year after debt. And you deal with the tenants, toilets, and trash. Can I get a dope? Can't tell if he's smart or dumb. Is that what he's, is that what?
Yeah. I mean, a lot of people, let's say on Burr Invest, they're like, oh, so how many of the 1,500 units you own, Mike? How many?
All of them.
I mean, when you're dealing
I know, but they were like, what percentage do you own of that? Like,
come on, man.
A good percentage?
Yeah. And
what percentage of 1,500 units you got?
let's go to the slide.
No, I mean, I'm not trying to hate. No, because you got to get it. Well, like, yeah, there's times as you grow, that will change. But let me finish on this one. Look, would you rather do massive commercial deals with other partners who are experts, and you only own 10% of $100 million portfolio, and this $100 million portfolio earns $6 million a year after debt? You have a team doing all the work.
Yep. And what I learned from Mike is the less I do, the more I make. That is very profound, guys. The less I do, the more I make. If you master that,
I was, who was that? Was it a movie or actually somebody really said that? They was like, he was on his deathbed and he's telling his son, he said, son, whatever it is, you can pay somebody to do that.
That's true. That's true.
I was like, I like that idea.
Yep.
And so, but you can't be scared. You can't be scared to be in debt. You can't be scared to try something different. You can't be scared to move down a different path, because that's what they call blazing the trail. But look, it's no longer blazing the trail because I'm showing you what's possible. It's kind of going back into the 4-minute mile. Why was it back in, I think it was about 1941, 1944, the guy wanted to run a 4-minute mile and he never seen anybody do it and nobody ever done it. And you got to realize they didn't have these nice track shoes, right? They didn't have the rubber tracks with a lot of speed, right? And yet he broke the 4-minute mile.
Roger Bannister.
Roger Bannister, because he believed, and he believed with certainty. And he like right here in the mind, he began to change the thought process and what he believed and how he took action and how he worked, right? And then guess what? Not a year later, not 2 years, not even a decade later, 45 months, 45 days later, Lundy came and did the 4-minute mile, right? Lundy did the 4-minute mile. And then after that, hundreds, even thousands of people have now ran a 4-minute mile.
Even high school students.
High school students are doing
can
it.
do that. Yeah.
So my point is, I'm not telling you, what I'm showing you, it's possible. And there's many of us doing that now. Just take the steps. All right, let's go to the next one. Anyway, Albert Einstein said that's a no-brainer. And he's pretty smart, I think. Albert?
Yeah, Albert Einstein, yep.
I think he's all right. He's okay. He's not smarter than me in real estate.
That's true.
Is it? He might be. I don't know.
But he's smarter than you with all aspects of the universe.
Hey.
Maybe not with women too, but yeah, that's another story.
So your action steps. Network with these people, experienced partner syndicators, private investor, commercial real estate brokers, property managers, real estate attorneys. When you start networking with these people, that's when things begin to change, right? You start working an experienced apartment investor. But let's just change this. Let's just understand. When you start surrounding yourself by people that's already doing what it is that you want, you'll start learning from them. And then you'll start absorbing that. Like, you become what you're around. You'll become your environment. And so literally, I love my friends. I still hang with them, right? But, some of them barely graduated from high school. Some did go off to college. Not many. Some of them didn't even make it out of high school, right? And I still love and adore my friends. I love them guys. But unfortunately, we took different paths. And it's not that they don't, like, when I get a chance, I hang out with them. But when I wanted to do real estate, I went all in, became obsessed. So when you become obsessed with something, that's when you begin to find the solutions on how you can achieve, right? I think it's what the fast eat up the slow, right? The fast eat up the slow. It's not that the slow wasn't better than them. They moved fast. They took care of everything. They studied, and then they ate them up. And so my point is, if you start hanging around people that's doing it, I changed my environment. I started hanging with people that did nothing but real estate. Even to this day, if you come to my house and I have an event, you're going to hear nothing but real estate or some type of business going on. All day, everywhere we go. You're talking about crypto, you're talking about buying a business, you're talking about a hotel, you're talking about apartment, you're talking about raising capital, you're talking about leveraging social media to go there. You're talking about doing a deal that'll pay for that so we can go coaching and traveling to play 7-on-7 football. See, I tie everything ties back into my real estate. Okay, how can I spend time with my kids? I got to do some real estate. You hear what I'm getting? You hear where I'm going? Change the people around you. And these are the type of people you need. And in our network, in our friendship, and look, and these people are our friends now. They're friends. Whether that, I like them or not, I'm just kidding. I do like them sometimes. No, these are my guys. And we talk and help each other out so much. Like, We're in another level of the game, and I didn't even know that. But listen, and I'm not saying this to brag, all right? I'm not saying this to brag at all. I'm just telling you the way you changing your lifestyle. For example, when I hung around my broke friends, we was always broke. All of us. Now, all my friends are surrounding that's growing and investing. They all got a little bit of money now. Check this out. And I'm just sharing a story, not to brag, but to share. Like my man Jairus right here is with us, right? Me and Jairus, like, we ain't got nobody we could call. Like, we ain't calling nobody, hey, can I borrow $20? When we call, it's like, hey man, you got 50 or 100 grand so you can hold me for this week till I do this deal. And like Jairus right here invested in a hotel debt, but this is true partnership. This is friendship. Jairus like, man, I want to step the game up. I was like, well, you just made 500, throw it in one of these hotels. Okay, Mike, I've never done this before. I'm leaving it up to you, but I need to do a couple of things. Don't worry about it. I'll take care of you. And he drops 500 into the hotel deal.
Yeah, I remember last time we talked to Jairus, he said, I have a good problem. I have this problem. I have this money coming in. I don't know what to do with it. I was like, what? What the problem, Jairus?
And but here's the thing. Jairus yesterday, he ordered a Tesla, right? And fucking whatever happened, Chase was like, man, we don't lend on Teslas. First of all, y'all dumb as hell for not lending on the Tesla. That's tough. But Jairus short 80 grand. I was like, dude, I got you covered. Don't worry about it. Went to the bank, lent him $80, 80,000 until he gets his money. But my point is, we changed our surroundings of a people. So you leverage that for friendship. You leverage that for your life. But look, we go back and forth working with each other on deals. Then on top of that, like my man brings in $1 million deals to us. Why wouldn't I lend him some money? Right? So, but we grew together. Well, we pulled him up. Now he's about to pass everybody. I don't know. Jairus is a maniac. He just has a crazy ass work ethic. I'm like, go to sleep. He just thinking his sleep. That's why he drives his fiance crazy, man. Let's go. I wandered off. But did that make sense, guys? Do you understand what I'm telling? Tell me in the chat. Did you understand what was going on there? All right. Do you understand what that does there? By change your surroundings, like I said, not trying to brag, but we wouldn't want friends that are doing it and then leveraging up on each other, right? And pushing each other and sharing deals. But how do you get experienced investors to partner with you? Answer, provide value. That's everything. Add value. Look, some of you like, well, Mike, I don't know anybody. I don't know this or that. Man, you know something. You know something. I had people, matter of fact, here's something that was before I go into detail about this, but I had a young lady, she just graduated from one of them schools. I was somewhere in Baltimore. I can't even remember, but she just got a degree and she was an analyst. And no doubt she could have been working for 60, 80 grand, no, 100 grand, easy. She came to work for me for pennies on dollars, like just, I'll take 20 an hour when I do it. And she didn't even really bill me. What she wanted to do was work with me to analyze deals. She came up, she did my executive summary. She did a projected performance. She did it on a scale that I couldn't even do. She provided value. And guess what? She worked with me and gained experience. And then she leveraged that with my experience, work with me doing hotels and apartments, analyze deals. Then she ended up getting an intern with Robert Jones. No, it's not Robert Jones. What's my man on BET? On BET? Bob something. Bob Johnson. Robert Johnson, RGL or something like that. One of the biggest African-American, like he owned over $1 billion worth of hotels, right? One of the first brothers to do that. She got an intern with him and then end up going to, I think, New York. And now she won one of these biggest firms, she's making like $2 something a year just by providing value and leveraging. So my point is, in apartments, you could do the same thing. Even if you don't have experience, you can go find a deal. Well, you don't know how to find a deal. Maybe your skill set is raising money. Maybe you know how to put a team together and manage it. Keisha Kennedy is a perfect example.
Yeah, she's actually in the slide.
We're in the slide?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll save that for later. Let's go to the next one. So if you know how to find and analyze large apartment and hotel deals, investors will want to partner with you and invest money with you. Like here's John Castman. He's one of our coaches. Look, he found a deal that some other partners were working on. And look, he was able to help raise capital. Guess what they did? Come on, John, and be a part of my general partner. Take equity. You raise some capital. They brought the deal. He brought some equity. Guess what? He took ownership. You see how easy that was? Let's go to the next one. Oh my gosh. This guy right here. These two guys, these are two of my prize students, man. Robert Musil and Tim Vest, right? First of all, Tim Vest was like, dude, I'm okay, Mike, but I want to do better. But he was like, he already had a 6-figure job, already making over 100. Robert was already trying to go all in. Just two guys. They took the course. They took action. They changed their mindset. It was like, Mike, we're tired of these single families and everything. And I was like, dude, go for it. I was like, and if you can't get the 100, 300, do the 30 and 50 units. And they found their pocket. And then, man, in less than a year, they did over 800 units.
Yeah.
800 units.
That's crazy.
Together, but they did it as a team. Did you hear did you hear earlier we talked about a team?
Yeah, and the skill set that they brought to the table in this case is persuading private investors, which is one of the things that they learned from the Mastermind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at first, Tim Vest was like, man, Mike, I'm an introvert. I don't know how to talk to people. Can I really raise money? And Mike said, you can, but you have to follow the system. And he did, right?
Yeah, he followed the system, he took action, and he worked at it I can honestly say Tim Vest grind every day. Went to the workplace. Well, he stayed at home because of COVID, but he worked every day. And then every day when he was finished, then he started working on finding deals. And after he finished working on finding deals, he took his daughter to play soccer. She was on a traveling soccer team.
Mm.
And when they busily sitting around in the hotel, whatever, he working on deals. 800 units.
Yeah, and one of the things here, that their very first deal, they have an experienced indicator actually approached them with the deal already. And then Robert and Tim raised part of the money, part of the capital.
Yeah, they did it as a team. But that's the whole thing about team. Me and Nate are a team. Sometimes me and Jairus are a team. Matter of fact, we would find deals and nobody to really sell them to. Jairus like, dude, I got people. And literally, I didn't even bother. Whenever a deal comes, this is what I would do now. It got to this point, my team. People call me, Mike, I got this property, Bob. And I was like, that sounds pretty good. And then I'll call Jairus first, right? And depending on how low scale it was, I called Paul Glenn. And then I think I called, I used to call McGraw, but I started calling my man Cal. Now, depending on where it was, but I called 3 people. And if none of them said, I can sell this in like a day, I didn't do it. But every time I called Jairus, I got it. And next thing you know, Jairus got it sold.
Nice. He
sold our first, matter of fact, that was like our first large multi-unit. We found one on LoopNet. You know, guys, how much I always talk about I hate LoopNet. It's not that I hate LoopNet. They're just not consistent, okay? I do like LoopNet, but they're not consistent. Found our first deal. Found my man, Steve Terman. Steve is still rocking with us to this day, 15 years later. But Jairus sold it immediately. Remember that one?
McHenry or?
No, the one in Mount Auburn. Where we sold to the Russian company.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah, I was just like, dude. What else we got? Next one. Here's Keisha. Look at it. Keisha's like, I hate analyzing deals. Look,
oh, yeah, that's right.
when somebody, this is where Keisha comes in. So this is where you could come in. When Keisha comes in, she's like, hey, these people like, I have a deal. Can you help me raise money? She was like, okay, let me look at it. Let me see if this is real. She looks at the deal. She analyzes, she's like, yep, I believe in it. I'll go raise some money. And she'll go raise anywhere from 100 to 500, maybe $1 million for the deal. Just like that. And guess what? She's not even in the States.
She's in Kuwait.
She's in Kuwait. You sure? Because you always get
Kuwait,
that messed up.
Not Dubai, Kuwait.
Yeah.
Kuwait.
She's in Kuwait, right? What is your excuse? She's in Kuwait. She is American, right? I'm just saying. She just took a contracting job in Kuwait and she's getting it done. So, all right. So she attracted other syndicators and she's invested over 200 units in just 7 months after joining our mastermind class.
Yeah.
7 months.
The update here, Mike, is 327 units in 365 days. That's what Keisha already, did. 327 units in 365
I feel like I'm lame,
days.
dude. It took me 15 years to figure out how to put my pants on right. And they're doing this stuff in the year. I'm so jealous of my students. You can't tell, can you? All right. Let's go to the next one. And if you know how to build a team, you can experience what me and Nate experienced. Nate is a master at renovation management. Look, I could go in and renovate a building. I'm pretty dangerous with that, right? And dangerous is a key word.
Dangerous in a bad way.
Yeah. I mean, I can get it done, but Nate knows it. Well, Nate knows a lot of things, but like he's got this photographic memory. He doesn't forget anything. And he knows how to measure. He knows all the parts of the installation. Like he becomes obsessed when he begins to learn something. So installing the door, he knows it needs to be this height. He knows the framing needs to be this far off center. He knows this on how deep we have to be before the frost line, like all these different things. And then he understands how to communicate with the contractor. Oh my gosh. And there's some of you have dealt with contractors. You know how difficult it is to communicate with a contractor. I think all contractors speak a different language, not French, not Spanish, not Zimbabwean, none of that. They just, I don't know what the hell they speak. The contractor. I had one contractor, I'll never forget. I needed a door installed, a back door installed at my building on McHenry, one of my first single family houses. And so he says, no problem, Mike, I'll put it in. And he puts the door in. And I'm like, great. He's like, I'm done. And I go check it out. And then next thing you know, I look at it. I say, yo, this ain't right. And he said, what are you talking about? The hinges of the door were on the outside. Now, some of you are like, what does that mean? Like there's on the door, there's like a hinge with a pin. So if you pop that pin out, you can pull the door off and get in the house. Well, they had that on the house outside. He tells me, hey, that wasn't in the contract.
It's not in the scope of work, Mike. What do you mean putting the door the right way?
What?
Do I have to put it in the scope of work? That you have to do your job the right way?
Oh my gosh. I'm just like blown away, man. So, that's what having a good team and Nate are able to deal with it. Guess what? Nate takes that on. I take on bringing the deals, structure them together, raising money and putting the team together. Most of the time they don't even know when we close it. I mean, he tried to keep up the date on everything, but there's numerous deals like, hey, Nate, I need you to sign these documents. What am I signing? We just closed. What did we buy? We just bought 2 hotels. What do you mean we bought 2 hotels?
Are you serious?
Like, he's like, you're a terrible, terrible communicator. I was like, what do you care if I'm telling you close 2 hotels? Well, I would like to know at least. I'm just spending your money, Big Papa. Okay, go on to the next one.
But the nice thing though, before we move on, Mike, is, because of your guys' expertise on renovation, right? Venture, three young guys partnered with you guys, and then they brought in like 500. You did 500 units together.
Yeah, we did 500
Yeah.
units together, and they did probably another 500 or 600 or more.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys were hungry. I mean, I never forget, man. Like they came to us like, Mike, we want to do 1,000 units. We was like, nah, I don't know if I want to do that. But guess what? We'll help you get there. And 30 days later, we had 1,000 unit deal, and we ended up buying about 500 of those.
Yeah.
And millionaires. Bam, off the rip. All right. Yes, I'm taking credit for it.
No, but the point is, guys, you know, like
I'm excited that we're blessed to help other people grow with us, man. That's it. That's all I want. I want everybody to grow. I want everybody to know that's possible. I want everybody to know that there's nothing you can't do. All you just have to do is put that plan together, change the thought process, become obsessed with it, and take action and go hunting every day and keep doing your routine every day. And then you'll see it to grow.
Again, that mindset shift of not doing everything by yourself, but being the deal maker. So, all right, let's move on.
Yep, you got it. What we got? So to learn deal acquisition, raise capital, and build a team, consider joining a Masterminds by application only. You need either real estate investing experience or leadership or entrepreneurship experience. If you're, it's currently closed, sorry, but you can reserve your slot when we reopen. Only 5 will be accepted to join the wait list, and you can get to attend tomorrow at 11:30 a.m. So go to NassauInvest.com/waitlist, NassauInvest.com/waitlist, and you can sit in on one of our mastermind classes tomorrow. All right.
Yeah.
So look, and everybody's just networking like crazy
in the chat
on Zoom today. Apparently y'all live and don't need Mike. That's what we just, hey, it's like being at the club. I'm performing and everybody's having a good time. You know what? We need to have some either coffee, tea, or beer. You know what? I'm gonna start doing happy hours, wine and beer happy hours.
Nice.
We're gonna have to do a night one. All right.
All right. Cool.
All right.
Next slide.
Who said that? Who said that? I said.
You said that. Hey, I perform, and then everybody just chap it up. Chat it up. Just chat it up. When you trying to get VIP, but all your friends are broke.
So
That's
next
tough.
week, that's a topic: how to raise private capital, even if all your friends and family are broke.
Hey man, my family broke. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, yo, we all going on vacation. Right. So last year I paid for vacation, right? So everybody came down. And I was like, yo, we going again. It was like, yeah, we out. And I was like, all right. And I was in delay because I didn't know our schedule. And finally I was like, hey, let's go. And I was like, I found a spot. And I was like, yo, it's going to be $150 a person. We there for 7 days. They was like, yo, see what happened was my checking and my savings and my checking, they didn't match up. And so ain't nobody going. I was like, When your family is broke, all I want to do is a family vacation. I can't pay for all the family vacation. I can, but I'm not. Well, I'll probably end up paying for it.
Yeah, but next week, don't miss it, because a lot of you have that problem. Like, I can't raise any money. I don't know anyone to talk to, right? It's like all my friends and family are
Paulette,
broke.
come on. Hey, Paulette, you'll be my fake cousin. Paulette, you come on down. I think I'm going to Destiny. You can be our fake cousin. And then really, you know what? Forget my family. I'm gonna get some old some pictures and stick them on a poster board and just post them all up around the house. And then put them on the beach. What do you call them things? Them poster stands. Put their picture on, like, oh, it's so good that you could be here. Oh, so glad. Oh, and they won't talk back. I love it. Okay.
All right, next slide.
What we got? Oh, look at that guy, man. You look like $1 million right there,
There's the
bro.
Bird 360.
Hey, so look, right now we're about to interview my man Jairus right here. We call him, I don't know if I want to call him Big D.
What? Big J.
Let's just stick to Jairus.
The Big D. Hell no.
Major key.
Hey, so how to wholesale for quick cash? Oh my gosh, they're calling me. How to wholesale for cash, interview with Jairus. And like we said, go to bird360.com. We got the big, one of the biggest seminars
Real estate
conference coming to Cincinnati, Ohio, September 13th, 15th. Jairus will be one of the main speakers there, taking on the stage. Everybody give it up for my man Jairus. What's up, brother?
What's up? It's glad to be here.
Is this mic on?
You hear me?
Yeah, there you go. Put it
I
on.
still want to move it again.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's why.
That's why. You got to pull it down. So we'll get you still. That's why it ain't on there. Pull it all the way down.
You know what?
God.
Here,
I'll just hold it
just
right
use my
here.
mic right there.
Yeah, use his mic.
I can do this until I can't. Then I'll grab your mic. So let's go this way.
This is a great studio
We're
play.
broke to millions. It's not investing anything into your production. I'm not actually, I'm lying. There's cameras everywhere, so I'm just going to be looking at different cameras. So if you see me stare it off, I'm looking at something. And his chair moves 15 different ways.
Oh my gosh.
So, all right.
What's up, brother? How you been, man?
Yeah, man, just hanging out, trying to do these bigger deals with you.
Yeah, so tell the people how you got started. And you were in like contracts disputes when we found you, man. So like but when you were already wholesaling for kind of a I forgot what the name of that group was, and then you left, or was that you were with Bill first?
Mm-hmm.
You were with Bill first?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were with Bill. You were in his wholesaling group, and you had kind of a contract dispute or non-compete. So you left and went to New York. And what happened in New York?
Well, I decided to come back to Cincinnati and continue to wholesale. Start my own wholesale company.
What happened in New York though, man?
Nothing. So I got my real estate license in New York.
Uh-huh.
Kind of just, I was just too comfortable in New York. I just had some money saved up and then sat around kind of waiting for this non-compete to run out.
Oh, you were just really running time off.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, all right. And so then you get to New York, you come back, and then you start wholesaling, right?
I started wholesaling for myself then at that point.
Right. And then how did you know all this stuff? Like, how many houses were you wholesaling a month?
We were doing at least 9 to 12 transactions a month.
And what were you getting per transaction?
I mean, we weren't greedy. I mean, we were buying stuff for just on average $40,000, $50,000, putting 5, 6, 7,000 on top of it, and just throwing them out to just all kinds of investors.
And what's the normal spread on that?
Our average hit is what we call our profit was $5,600 on every deal we did, and we would do hundreds of deals a year.
Gee, that was the good times.
What was the good times?
That was a good time. Now you can't even find a wholesale deal like that.
Nothing.
Like that's all you got. Like when I was buying houses, that was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Yeah, it was more early 2000s.
Like 2010.
Yeah. I was like, hey, I just finished a rehab. I'm ready for a new deal. I would call Jairus or call McGraw because they were wholesale. I'll call Paul and I could find a deal just like that. It was like going to the store. That just dried up and went away.
It just got hard. It got harder to do that.
So I know that's a big question now. A lot of students or people are saying, Mike, I can't find a deal. How are you still finding deals in this market?
It's just not true. You can find the deals if you know where to look for them and how to find them. I set off, it was last week. And I do certain things just out of habit, right? I'm a big believer in if you're like real estate's an intangible, right? Like a lot of people go to an office and work and you can be around that environment, but in real estate, you only get paid for when you close something, right? When you actually, there's a result from your actions. That's how you get paid. So I try to do as much as I can to like be always in the real estate zone. So whenever I'm driving around neighborhoods that I want to buy houses in, I always take a long way, like a longer route than the direct route, because I want to drive up and down side streets. I want to see what's going on. I want to look for possible opportunities to buy something. So this past weekend, I did the same thing. It was a Saturday, and I was just taking the long way back to a property. And I saw a dumpster in this front yard.
Okay.
And it wasn't like a dumpster that you and I would use, right? It wasn't a big 30, 40 yard dumpster. And that was all beat up and destroyed.
Right.
It was like a really nice 15, 10 yard dumpster that was clean, like brand new looking,
dumpster.
like a retail.
That's unheard of.
It was like a retail one, something somebody called from the yellow pages. So I'm like, I know this person doesn't know. They never paid way too much for it. So I saw some guy walking in and out, and I was like, I'm going to stop and talk to him. Talk to him, find out he just took possession of the house. He inherited it. Doesn't want to have it anymore. Literally that day, or it was the next day, ended up signing a contract and buying that house. Nice. All because I stopped at a dumpster. And we're
You saw a new dumpster.
24th.
You saw a new dumpster.
That's it. I saw a designer dumpster. I saw like a Gucci dumpster. Gucci dumpster. Mike and I are over here buying the Walmart dumpsters, and this was just a fancy dumpster.
Oh my God, I never heard of a Gucci dumpster.
It's real.
I need that in my life. Oh my God. So you did over 1,000 doors or deals. How in the hell did you do that?
And that's over how many years?
Over 8 years.
Over 8 years, you flipped, bought, sold, rehab. However, 1,000 deals.
Yeah, it all started with a team. I mean, just like you said, we built a wholesale team. My friend and my partner at the time, Tyler, is still one of my best friends. We found our strengths. Like my strength was I was really good at building a team and finding investors. Tyler, there was nobody better than Tyler when it came to finding properties. 100% best one around.
So you found money, right?
And investors.
And then he found the deals.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're doing 1,000, there's no way you could have did that by yourself.
No, zero
Just
chance.
with you two.
No.
So what did you have after that?
Built a sales team. We brought on 3 more people to help us sell.
Nice.
And then on top of that, you still needed more people, right?
We had a full-time person for off-market leads, like letters, and things like that. And then we also partnered with a great title company. And when you have a great title company,
how many companies did you have? You worked with?
We worked with two
different ones.
Yep.
So you had a money guy, a deal guy, a sales team, and a title company. Yeah. And naturally with that title company, not always, but a lot of times you got a lawyer with that handles a lot of legal stuff for you as well.
Yeah.
That's impressive. How much do you think you made off of that? I'm being nosy.
I mean, it's not how much you make, it's how much you keep, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we invested a lot back in the wholesaling and a lot of, I made enough, here's what I'll say. I made enough money to change my life. Basically, that money gave me everything I needed to buy my first house, and then rehab my first house, then get equity line on my first house that I house hacked, and then continue to go and buy rental properties.
I mean, so that's the key. You took that money because you didn't really have cash, but you found some people that would invest that will let you buy and flip. Then you took that money and you got passionate about a neighborhood. You actually honed in on one neighborhood, and you bought in Price Hill, which then changed. They like regentrification is what they're calling it. And you literally made millions over there.
Yeah. I mean, part of it was you and Nate too. Nate told me, buy in this area. So I just bought in that area and just kept buying. Wow.
And you were buying when people didn't even want to buy over there.
No, here's the deal. I'll tell you about my first rental that I bought.
Okay.
Up there was a wholesale deal that we actually wholesaled to myself and bought it for $17,500. I ended up putting about $130,000 into it. Right after I bought it, had under contract, ready to go on it. I took an Uber up to the Incline Public House. Yep. And this was like 6 years ago. And the Uber driver dropped me off and he's like, well, good luck getting a ride home from here. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, they don't come to this neighborhood. They just don't come up here. And I'm like, they've got to come up here. I I just bought a place there. Like, they've got to come. Like, this area's got to be something. And he's like, no, they just won't come. There's just too much crime. So he dropped me off. And then I'm sitting there, and he was right. Ubers don't come there. I discovered Uber black car. I had to call a black car to come pick me up because none of the regular Uber X's came up there.
Oh my God.
So, and then that's in that same neighborhood. I have Airbnbs and 50 units in that same neighborhood.
Wait a minute. So you had an Airbnb in an area that wasn't even really an Airbnb area?
Well, not at that time. I mean, currently now they're Airbnbs and attractions and everything. So that was
that's pretty damn impressive, bro.
That was interesting. It wasn't always super easy, but it's always worth it.
So, and then now you're one of the main speakers during the upcoming Birth 360 conference. You're going to talk about wholesaling. Why should real estate investors, both newbie and experienced, learn about wholesaling? Why would anybody in their right mind want to wholesale?
I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for what I learned wholesaling. So let's just look at it from somebody that's just broke and that doesn't have any money, right? That just wants to get started.
Okay, that was me.
That was me. Okay. I had nothing, but I always read Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and everything that we're all supposed to read, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People and everything. And I knew that real estate was the great equalizer. I knew that real estate would change my life. And I knew I had to get into real estate, but how do you get into real estate with no money? Well, people are just going to say you can't, but that's just not true. Because like Mike was saying earlier, is if you bring some kind of value to people, then they'll just get attracted to you. Then you guys will connect. So I went into wholesaling, and I was lucky. I had a friend that was doing it. I learned a ton from him, and I just got in, and I went in and just did everything I was supposed to do. I went and knocked on doors. I got rejected. I stopped at other houses where I thought investors were working. I just did everything. And then what that allowed me to do as a brand new investor is get surrounded by people, or as a brand new wholesaler. I was around these investors. I learned the lingo. I learned how to talk. Right. I went and helped them. Like, I helped them for nothing. I would go into the trash just to be around them.
Yeah.
So
you did do that.
I did that. I mean, that's how it helped me as brand new. And then I learned what a good deal looked like. I learned how to find a deal. I learned where these people are buying, or what they're buying, how investors are buying things. And then I was selling them the deals now. So then I learned what the deals were. So I was giving it to them that way. Then on the back end, I got a real estate license. So then I listed houses for sale for them. So I would make money on the wholesale, then I'd make money as a realtor. But the wholesaling just got me in the room with these people. Yes, and it did. I provided tons of value. I became known as, just one of the biggest wholesalers in Cincinnati.
Yes, you are.
That gave me huge credibility to be around people that I probably had no right being around otherwise.
And it's true. He was broke. He came back from New York. I'll never forget. He came back from New York. I love this story. He just flipped a deal with us, right? Or I don't even know if we had closed yet, but he just had an apartment. I think it was in Pleasant Ridge or Pleasant Run. No, it wasn't Pleasant, Pleasant Ridge. And he had a little bit of jewelry, just got a TV, just had a few things, and robbed. They got you.
They got me. I lived in Harlem for a year. East Harlem, never got messed with. Nothing ever happened in East Harlem. It was amazing.
Until he moves back.
I come back to Pleasant Ridge and get robbed. So before I moved to New York, I left Cincinnati because I was wholesaling with a friend of mine. I brought us a big deal up in Dayton. We made $60,000 on it.
Yes.
And I was supposed to get paid about 25 on it. Didn't pay me.
Wow.
So I begged him, and he was a good friend. I begged him, I'm like, just give me $5,000, just give me something, or give me equity in this company or whatever. It didn't happen. So I was like, well, I'm not going to be here anymore. I had a non-compete. I wanted to honor it for whatever reason. I'm sure, they're debatable, but I went to New York and just had a bunch of money saved, bought diamond earrings, just bought all the stupid stuff because I was making a ton of money wholesaling. And I was just like, I'm just going to buy things. Like, I'm just going to keep buying things. So I came back to Cincinnati. I was like, it's time to start a company. And I was dead broke at that point. I had spent everything I had on Grubhub and bar tabs. It was gone. Just nothing was left. So I don't know why I didn't take them with me, but I had diamond earrings and really nice watches set up on my nightstand. And I had them set up there because I was going to pawn them, but I had left that day to go do something. So I went and came back home to get lunch, and my sliding glass door was wide open. I was like, oh my gosh. And at this point, I'm driving a minivan that I had traded somebody an iPad for. Like, I wasn't even driving my own vehicle. The 1992 Chevy Lumina minivan. That was somebody else's thing.
You traded an iPad for.
Yeah, and the iPad ended up getting stolen by a crackhead in Canton. So it's just crazy. So I pull up, my sliding door is wide open. I was like, oh my gosh, this can't be, like, what's going on? I go inside and everything I had was gone. Earrings, watches, TV, PlayStations, everything, all gone. So like, and it was bad. I had nothing, right? I had nothing really left at all. I went and got gas at a gas station on the corner. I was just like crying. I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I going to do? And at that time, I was working on a deal with Nate and Mike for a 24 unit because they had heard I was just came back from New York. And then Nate called me. He's like, I got a 24 unit here you can sell. I want you to sell it. And I ended up calling Nate after this happened. And he's like, listen, I got you, man. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, what's going on? He's like, go to H.H. Gregg. And this was like, that's how long ago it was. We went to H.H. Gregg and he like bought me they bought me a TV, a DVD player and all this stuff. I'm like, that's awesome. And basically helped me sell this 24 unit that they brought me to wholesale. Cause I brought the investor, but at the end of the day, I didn't know all the lingo. Like I didn't know how the cap rates worked. I didn't know how all that stuff worked. And then Nate called me like 2 weeks after all this had happened. He's like, oh, I said I was going to give you $7,000 for this deal. I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's awesome. He's like, I actually got 12. He gave me extra money for wholesaling it. And that just changed everything. I mean, it just helped in every way possible.
Yeah, man. You got busy on them, brother. You deserved it, man. Like we was like, shoot, you set it up. We just closed it, man. That was the deal. You lobbed it up. I was like, we'll take it from here, brother. So that's the whole point about putting your team together, man. That's why we love wholesaling, man. Like if you're broke, right? You don't even need money. That's what I'm saying. You don't need money to do deals, right? Just add value. How did he add value? He was able to sell a 24 unit that we really didn't have buyers for. Man, can you give us an example of your latest or your most profitable wholesale deal?
Yeah, well, there's a couple. I'll give one. So we were just hanging out with neighbors. We're just hanging out with people. And it's like what Mike said, when we do real estate, that's all we talk about. It just is like, you're just always talking about real estate, and people that don't even do real estate know that you're in it. So they want to talk to you about it. They just always do. It's hot. Like real estate is just a hot thing that people want to talk about.
Right.
And one of my neighbors brought up that they had a house on the west side of Cincinnati that they wanted to sell, that they inherited. They didn't know what to do with. So I was like, cool, I'm going to go. I was like, let me check it out and whatever. And I went and looked at it. It was a 2-family, ended up buying it for $50,000. And then I ended up wholesaling it 2 weeks later for $85,000. So we just made $35,000 just talking real estate to somebody. So that's a deal that I sold to somebody else. Now, lately, what I've been doing a lot more of is wholesaling deals to myself. So this deal that I just bought, that I just mentioned the other day when I was driving around, I saw the dumpster. I put this deal under contract for $90,000. All said and done, this is a $250,000 house. I'm wholesaling it to myself for $9,900.
Okay. Because
at this point where I'm at right now is I want to keep everything that I buy. So many times I drive past stuff and I'm like, I sold that for too cheap. Sold that for too. Now it's worth this. Now it's worth this. So it's like I know the real wealth is created just by keeping the real estate. And I also see the value in wholesaling because there is value there. And that upfront money especially in the beginning, kept me going. That made my car payment. That made my rent payment. That made, everything keep going. So now I've just been wholesaling deals to myself and
that's
building
a
it that
little
way.
Weird.
It is weird, but it's awesome.
I wholesale to myself. You play.
Well, I'm the best buyer. I know I'm going to close. I'm cash. No inspections. There's nobody's going to treat you better than yourself. Yeah. And if that's not the case for you, then you just got to look in the mirror and see what's going on.
I guess you play with yourself too, huh?
So
what?
Okay.
Kind of podcast is this?
Let's move on. This is the Broke to Millions podcast, not the Black Blue podcast. Okay, so anyway,
man.
So why do you wholesale to yourself? Just for the benefit of the audience? Like, what's the benefit of doing that?
To put money in my pocket right now.
So another way of saying it is, even though he wholesales, he actually takes a fee. Like we call that when you start to get an apartment. Exactly. They call that more of an acquisition fee, paying yourself first. And
it's important. You got to pay yourself first. I mean, it pays for the gas, for the driving, it pays for some signage.
Yeah, I mean, like
for all that stuff.
Even when you get into bigger deals, like, dude, like, are we doing? You already just said you're paying yourself, and in essence, you're wholesaling to yourself. In essence, all it is an acquisition fee or a developer fee.
Yep.
I'm doing the same thing on these large, like my development project in Sarasota. When it's all said and done, I'm gonna take a 3 to 5% developer's fee over the life of the project. Well, not the life, but while the project's being developed. And that's what 80 million, 3, what is that? 10, that's 8, like 3 to 4 million.
Yeah.
Same thing. Nothing changes. It's just bigger, more decimals, more commas. Well, I hope it's not more decimals, more commas though.
And at the end of the day, as long as the deal works, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
And look, you don't have to, I'll share it with some students as well. And just, yes, I always talk about you're one big deal away. But you don't necessarily have to do a big deal. You could do a nice 4-family with big numbers.
Yeah.
Right? It could be a 4-family you buy for 400,000, 600,000, 700,000. It's worth 1.2, 1.3 or something.
You guys did that in Gulf Manor.
Yeah, we just did
did that.
Yeah, we just did. Yeah. We took a 12 unit that we ended up buying that for like $650. So they were selling for like 2.25 per building, $225, which I thought was extremely high. But I was like, wait a minute. What made it easy, because I knew Nate has that same building and it was worth $350, $400. I was like, but this is better and a better location. No, I don't know if it was a better location, but the bottom line, shoot, now they're worth like $500 a building. So, I mean, we only, what, I don't know, 200 in. So we all in for 7, 8, and it's worth 1.5. I like these numbers. I like these numbers. Hey, what's the importance of, oh my gosh. Maja said that escalated quickly. Ron Burgundy. Hey, why is education so important on doing this? And then we're going to get into questions, man, because they got a lot of questions here. So why is education so important on doing these deals?
And
period.
It helps eliminate the learning curve.
Mm-hmm.
You instead of starting at step 1, you can start at step 6. Mm-hmm. And that's the difference between maybe making 5,000 in your first 3 months and making 5,000 in your first year. You're just paying, you're paying and you're just gaining the knowledge right off the bat to eliminate all the learning curves.
Mm-hmm. 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 Let's jump into questions. If you stay right there, Mitchell said something. So do you wholesale the property to a different LLC when keeping it? There's a couple of ways to do it, but tell us how you do it.
At first, when I was wholesaling a lot of deals, I would have 2 separate LLCs. An LLC that I only wholesaled out of, and then an LLC that I would keep all my rentals in. So that time, in those cases, I would. Right now, all I do is just write in a 1-page addendum that says JDS Holdings is going to pay JDS Holdings an acquisition fee of $10,000. And whenever I go to get investors for the property, I tell them it cost me 99 or 100,000, not the 90 I got it for, and run the numbers off of that. So 1-page addendum is how I do it now, but you can wholesale for multiple LLCs. There's nothing wrong with that.
Great. Jeffrey Jang, hope I'm saying that right. What are the responsibilities of the sales team? So when we were talking earlier, you had a wholesale team, and you were raising money. Tyler was managing the deals and finding deals, and then you had a sales team. So what did they do?
They had to sell the deals we found. So our acquisition team had a strict guideline of what we were looking for properties. Our formula is simple. We want the investor to be no more than 75% all in on the property. Okay. So let's say the ARV of a property after repair value.
ARV, what's ARV?
After repair value.
Thank you.
It's $200,000.
Okay. So
we want the investor needs to be no more than $150,000 all into that purchase price and rehab. We just run the numbers backwards. The acquisition team will know if the house needs 50,000, we would have to try to buy it at like 85 to 90. So obviously where you start, you want to start a little lower. Yeah. But at the end of the day, we would have to sell to an investor for no more than $100,000. So they put 50 into it. And then they would be into it and then they'd have a $200,000 property when it was all done. So it was the sales team to go out and find the investor and sell the deal.
That's pretty amazing.
And we kept a small team. We didn't have a lot of turnover. We paid everybody really well.
No, you took care of that.
Yeah.
No, that was amazing. I can always care. If Jairus didn't want it, I probably wouldn't do the deal. Well, I wouldn't wholesale it. Now there are deals I keep all the time, but things like that.
Yeah.
Let me see if I got any questions on Instagram. Instagram, you got any questions? It's so hard money. Look, okay. Is hard money legit? Has anywhere heard of them? Yes, no, hard money is legit. There's tons of hard money people out there. Hard money is simply people that don't lend at your typical terms. And they typically live in lending on investment properties. And they're going to lend you anywhere from 50 to up to 90%. All right, but there's some kind of restrictions, but typically they're no more than 75% of the after repair value, as Jairus shared. Some will go higher. And when you say hard money lender, that's the person I say that's probably lending to you at 14.99% because they don't want to say 15%, and they charging you 5 points. Now, some of you are like, oh my gosh, that's a loan shark. Why would I do that? Look, when you're first starting, you don't really have any money. That's kind of who you're dealing with because they're not really basing off of credit. They're not really basing off your skill set. Well, that's why they charge you money because you probably don't have the skill set, right? And thirdly, they're taking a risk with you. And so, but you got to look at it this. You got to change the perspective. Again, would you rather have 100% or nothing of zero, or take almost 50%? Because basically when you bring a hard money, you're kind of bringing in a partner that's guaranteed payment. That's it. That's really what that is. You guaranteeing that they're going to make their 15% on their money, because typically an investor wants to make 15 to 20% on their money. That's really all what you're doing. Okay. Look, you can cash them out in a month, you can cash them out 3 months, but whatever happens, they're lending you money. And look, if you went and got an investor, you would have had to pay 6 or 7% and give up equity. Well, instead of equity, they just took it as debt. So there's a lot of hard money lenders, but you don't have every hard money lender is not looking for 15%. There's some hard money lenders that will do 2%, 2 points at closing, and 8 to 10% interest only. All right. When you got something over there?
From Wakefield Lee, do you think wholesaling strategies work for multifamily buildings that are larger, like 20 to 100 units? What is the best way to find those properties at a good price when brokers have a lot of the relationships?
That's a good question. So it's going to be different when you're looking for apartments in big buildings like that. You can't really go drive for dollars, and those people aren't calling bandit signs and things like that.
Yes.
What I would do if I was going to target something like that is I would I know in Hamilton County, I'd go to the auditor site, and you can get really specific on your searches. I would search for 19 units or bigger, or however the breakdown is wherever you're from. But I know in Cincinnati, you can search 19 units or bigger. And I would pull up all of them in Hamilton County. Then I would look and see in order of what's transferred the latest, or like the oldest transfer. Find the oldest transfers, and then just reverse engineer, find the owners, and then search, go to Secretary of State, find them, and then find out who they are and see if they want to sell. Because if it hasn't transferred in a long time, it could just be an older owner. I would look for absentee mailing addresses on the auditor site. Your auditor site is going to be your best friend. You just got to dig into it. But that's where I would start if I was looking for something bigger like that.
I'm gonna add to that. I do believe wholesaling strategies work for multifamily buildings that are larger and smaller, but the way you do it changes.
Yes.
Right. Like when you wholesale a larger deal, it's not that now, unless you're dealing with people with cash right now, and you typically can get away with that from about $1 million to $3 million. But once you start crossing over $1 million, wholesaling a multi-unit is just got a couple of more hurdles that you have to do, right?
Because
You're not
because your buyer's not a cash buyer.
right.
That's
Like
one thing,
they're typically getting debt. There's an LOI involved. And in your LOI, then you move to your purchase sale agreement. You can say you can assign that deal, but then you got so much. It's not a regular wholesale deal. You may have 5 or 10,000 tied up in earnest money. Well, in these deals, you can have 50 to 200 or $500,000 tied up. Now, I'll just share how we did a wholesale deal, because we didn't get to the closing table and say, all right, I'm assigning this agreement to you and you're going to pay me 10,000. Because when we assign something, it's more like $1 million, $1.5 million. So people, when they see that, they start looking at those numbers. All right. And so I got you. So when we did a deal, we actually extended the agreement to be like 120 days, which is not typical. Typically, people want to close in 90 days. We got them to extend to 120 days. We had our earnest money, which was like 25 or 50 grand on a $2 million deal. And it didn't go hard for like 90 days. But when we found another buyer, we had them drop 150 hard. They money went hard immediately. Like, you do your due diligence before you come to contract. So that took us out of the way. Then in addition, we said, hey, we put an assignment fee on here of $1 million, which in layman's terms, there was so many units. We was like, hey, we get it for 20. You kind of got to disclose it. We get it for 20. We sell it to you for 3,000 more a door. So you paying 20, we charging you 3,000 more a door. So that was 23,000 that you were buying it for. Sometimes 25. And it was like, look, if you can, and the thing was, these people couldn't find deals. So that's why they were willing to pay the premium. But I can't even say they paid a premium. They still had value, right? Remember I said add value? We still was selling this deal to them way under market value. It was just plenty of room. So one thing about wholesalers that you gotta be concerned about, well, not concerned about, is don't be envious of well, you can be envious of what they made, but don't let that be mad about it. I've had people walk away, and I'm sure, Jairus, you've had this happen. When they figured out what you were making as a wholesale fee, did people walk away from the table?
Yeah, it's happened. People,
that's crazy.
I sold something to a title company I used to use, and they knew how much they had both sides of my contract, and they refused to pay me. They're like, how about I give you the money after I sell the house? I was like, how about you give me the money now? Like, it was a good deal.
We ain't gonna even disclose who that was.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna disclose.
But then I just bought a house from a wholesaler. One of the houses I just bought recently, he made $22,000 on it.
Yeah.
I saw in the art. I don't care. I was happy with the numbers, so it shouldn't matter.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Like, look, I tell people all the time, I don't care, man. Like, look, I've done deals where literally this guy made 100 grand off of me. Maybe 200. I didn't care. Guess what? I resold that deal that I paid 300 for. I ended up selling for 800. Do you really think I care? I probably put $50,000 more into it. Why do I care? Matter of fact, there's another guy trying to sell us something now. I don't really want to be in that neighborhood, but it's like 28 condos in this one part of town in Cincinnati. And this guy wants to make 200. So he can get it for 1.5. And then we buy from him, it'll be like 1.7. Then we put in some money. We'll be in at 1.8, but it'll be worth 2.4. It'll be worth 2.4 maybe. I mean, does it really matter how much they made? It's all about, can you make the deal work? If the deal still works for you, then go for it.
Here's what you're going to do too. Just while you're talking about that, is you're going to drive away every opportunity you get because you're mad somebody else is making money.
Right.
And when people would beat me up about how much we were making or all this stuff, I just stopped calling them because there's 50 other people in line. Like, if you're going to make it that hard for me to try to get you a deal, I'm going to go to the next person. That's it.
Hey, we got Louise saying, any way to join our mastermind if you're broke and bad credit? I guess you need to do a no money down deal.
Well, I already answered them. Just apply in NASA Invest.
Yeah, just apply, man.
We'll see. Here's a good question from Greta Berbotti.
Oh, what'd she say?
I'm a young investor. I hear all kinds of comments from people that we are heading for a depression. The market and economy will crash. What do you think about this? It scares me and stops me from going big.
Well, if we go into a depression, I think we need to get some medication.
Clinical depression.
Oh no,
Okay.
I'm sorry. Wah, wah, wah. No, this correction. No, man, we probably are going through a correction/recession. I don't think we're going to go through a depression. But look, I said that about COVID, and you saw it. We're never going to hit a depression or correction of that in our lifetime. And then here comes COVID. No, I mean, things are slowing down. Things are going to correct itself. You know, when you raise interest rates, prices begin to decrease. All right, just understand that. When interest rates decrease, prices rise. Why? Because people can buy more with less. Right? Because that let's say you're doing 100,000. Let's just do easy numbers here, so you understand what I'm saying here. If you had $100,000, right, $100,000 loan. No, we talk big numbers, right? So if you had $1 million loan and the interest rate was 0.06, your debt is $60,000 a year, roughly. That's just interest only. All right. But if you had $1 million and you got an interest rate of 3%, that's $30,000 a year. So if the interest rate was $30,000 a year and you could afford $60,000, guess what? You can afford a $2 million subject property. You understand? So now interest rates go back. Well, people can't pay as much. See, when people just want a deal, they don't care. They'll pay more because the numbers work. It's all a numbers game. So now the numbers game changed. The numbers ain't going to work now. So people are paying 60, so they can't pay 2 million. They can pay $1 million. And so that's what we're seeing right now is that correction. Then you got inflation, which I like inflation. I do. I do not like going to fill up my truck and I feel like I'm filling up my private jet. Okay. I don't like that. But, but inflation is good, right? Because of inflation, people's wages increase. But the problem is everything else increased. So did we really increase? It's kind of like when we buying houses now, we're really just flip-flopping, right? Because like, oh, I can sell my house and make more money. Well, you just trade it up. Really? So my point is, inflation is good. All these things are great, but we just got to move forward here. How to find a mentor for multi-million-dollar residential projects. You're at the right place. That's what we're here for, brother. Sign up for the Nassau Invest /waitlist. And if you haven't been a part of our apartment investing secrets groups, join that as well. And we got consulting? Is Chris over there doing a 1-hour call with people now?
Yeah.
So Chris, if you're on, I don't know if Chris is on today. If Chris is on, I'll have him contact you now. What else we got?
So, but going back to that question, so about, the economy is going to a depression or recession, right? I mean, Mike, you've been buying real estate since 1999.
Yep, Chris is there.
When interest rate was high, right? Like at 8%, 9%, down to like 3%.
Dude, I was buying, man, I was living the dream paying 8, 10, 12%. So I was doing that when I learned when I first started buying, I was buying in the correction or recession. The problem was I was just broke, so it didn't matter. I was like a recession. Well, shit, I've been living like this all my life.
Yeah. So the point, guys, is that, it doesn't matter what the economy is, right? So, but how you buy and sell will depend on the market, right? So
Yeah.
you can buy it in any market, but how you buy and sell will depend on the market.
Yeah,
So,
you just got to adjust. Another person, should I focus on residential and commercial investing or just pick one? Man, it really just depends on the opportunity and what your skill set or what your team looks like. Like me, I'm versatile, right? Hey, I'm a southpaw, I'm a right paw. You know what I'm saying? I'm boxing in this game, right? I'm boxing in this real estate. I can do a warehouse. I can do apartments. I can do hotels. But I'm really good at multifamily and hotels. So that's what I do. And single family homes I've mastered. So, but I decided to push myself, so it's really about what you're comfortable with and who's your team. If you've never done a hotel, I probably wouldn't encourage you to do a hotel right off the rip unless you had a team. Like now, if you invested with me or you took one of our courses, then I would say, yes, do a hotel. But if you've never done it and you do it on your own, look, if you ain't got the right team, I wouldn't do this. We got an anonymous attendee. I don't know why. I'm getting an opportunity to partner with Wyndham to open a hotel franchise. I'm looking for GP and LP who wants to partner with me. Can you help me?
Join the mastermind.
Yeah, join the mastermind. You know what? We talk about this all the time with our students. So, yeah, let's hear about or share what you do. You know what? If you reach out to Chris or Chris reach out to the anonymous attendee, and figure that out, and you can join our mastermind for a free call tomorrow and talk people there. Greta, I have a very general question. I'm a young investor. I hear all kinds of comments. Is this the one?
Yeah. We already went through that.
Oh, we did that one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. For a single family, did we do this, Dennis?
No.
Okay. For a single family BRRRR deal, what would be fair terms to offer a private lender, family relative? Jairus, you tell, what would you offer?
Probably offer them 8%.
8%?
8% for 9 months, just long enough to get the deal done and refinance out.
Would you do any points?
No, I wouldn't start with points.
No.
I don't think they would know what points are if they're just a private lender. I mean, all they see is their saving account making 0.8%, and then inflation is growing at 7% a year. So, I mean, they're just losing money just having it sit there. The fact that they can invest in real estate and they're a good family member, you kind of just pitch it like you're helping me and you can earn some money and blah, blah, blah. But I would start at 8%. I'd feel comfortable paying up to 12.
Would you give them equity?
No.
No equity.
No equity. They're just a lender.
Okay.
For a single family house.
Okay. I would say the same thing. I typically would do 8% with 2 points. Now, when I first started, I actually had the same situation, but it was a little different. They didn't have cash, but they had good credit. So my brother came and signed, I think it was a hard money loan. I can't remember if it was a hard money loan or a regular loan. I ended up giving him $2,500 to sign. It was just a flat rate. I paid $2,500. We were doing about an $80,000 deal, 80 to 100,000. He signed for the debt, or he and she, my brother and sister-in-law, signed for the debt, paid $2,500, and then I paid $100 over what my payment was. And that was them for signing that. They were my creditor or my guarantor.
Credit partners.
Credit partners.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a little different.
Yeah.
But just teaching different ways. And I think I did 2 deals. Like, I think they did 2 or 3 deals and they made like $15,000 and absolutely did nothing. And I'll never forget, my sister-in-law was complaining. Oh, she was like, now I'll give it to him. Now, the one thing you have to do, I was just starting, I was kind of just starting back on my feet. And it was a little chaotic. Like, cause a closing, when you do a closing, they be like, they call you like the day before, like, we ready to close. You'd be like, what? And so my brother and sister-in-law were signing, I was like, well, can we do it after 10? No, title company close. They had to take off of work. So then they taken off of work, then they call back again. We can't close right now. And so, yeah, they were making money, but they was like, they were being inconvenienced. Now to us, that don't mean nothing. I was like, dude, you just made $15,000 off of 3 transactions.
Yeah.
And you didn't do nothing but sign your name. Now, again, that was big because if they signed your name and it went sideways, then it wouldn't have been so simple. So my point is, make sure all that stuff is on point, because most people aren't. There's ups and downs when you're doing a closing. Like I've never been to a closing when everything was perfect.
No, never. I think I sent you the money for the hotel 3 different times, $500,000 over and over. And I finally got to the point where I'm like, just leave it, Mike. We'll just leave it there. Let's just leave it. Just let me know when we close.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so yeah, so just be on point, try to make the deal smooth as possible. And the way to make that smooth, say, hey, if we're ready to close, I need to know 100% we are closing. You got to be that direct. Is everything okay to close? Because when that partner, unless they're sending money and putting it in escrow and wiring it, so things like that. Oh, you got to wave it, hands. So, yeah. So
it's already 1.6, Mike.
Yeah. Okay. So that's it. Millionaire mindset. That's where we're going. Everybody, first of all, give it up for my man, Jairus.
Wait, can I draw something really fast?
Oh yeah, where's your book?
Oh, I'm not worried about that. I want to just give some advice about something for everybody.
Go ahead, Joe.
Listen, we're on here talking about how I've done thousands of transactions, which is awesome, right? And I did that over the course of like 6 or 7 years. But one thing I don't want to see people fall victim to is I could have done 500 transactions. I could have wholesaled for half as much time and got into owning rental properties and owning real estate, the stuff I have now, stuff that Mike's teaching and helping people do. And I could have instead of right now owning, $20 million, $10 million in real estate, I could be at 50 million because I shifted from trading my time for money as a wholesaler to becoming an investor, like what Mike's always teaching people. And I've been so lucky to have Mike as like a mentor, somebody I can just bug and call up and help me transition from wholesaler to a real investor. So my advice is just, you got to get started, and wholesaling is great to teach you everything you need to know and analyze deals and get going. But you got to make the switch to an investor if you want to change your life. That's it.
Well said, man.
Hey, man, move to an investor. Hey, be a passive, without a doubt, being a passive investor so you can grow. At some point, you got to get off that speed train and let somebody else. I like to share, because since we got Tesla lovers out here, we got the Tesla lover. Everybody over here love a Tesla right here. I always like to say, man, here at Nassau, we act as a bridge and we help people get to their destination. And it just so happens that we have the 3 vehicles to get you to your destination. That's education, that's apartments, and that's hotels. So when you think of Nassau, think of us as a Tesla, right? You own the vehicle, you own the asset, you're in the driver's seat. But we do all the driving to get you to your investment destination. And that's the whole point of being a passive investor. Look, you worked your way up to build up all these assets. You worked your way up to get these different vehicles. Well, why don't you let somebody else drive, right? Diversify. Sometimes it's not, you don't always have to be active. It's all about a team. That's what we talk about today, man. As Les says, there's greatness in you. But look, sometimes we're not always at our greatest. And that's the point we shared about the team. Like I brought my man Jairus in here, man. There's multiple times. Look, everybody, you heard so many stories about how we helped Jairus. No, Jairus helped us. Actually, Jairus helped himself. He added value. So I encourage you to go out and add value. And look, not always did you need something in return. I want you to give more than possible, right? Why we love what we do, because we don't pick up a check. No, let's be clear. We get a check, right? And it's got digits, it's got commas in it. But guess what? Yeah, and then we put that check in the bank and turn it into cash, right? And then we go buy toys with it. But no, that's not really what we're doing. What we really are doing is picking up fulfillment. We're fulfilled by what we do. See, some of these things you guys are doing, they're depleting you. They're making you distraught, disturbed. And when you go into that, that leads into a dis-ease. Right? You are dis-ease, which leads to a disease. And then next thing you know, you held captives by this thought process, by this worry, by this thing that you don't feel that could come to reality. But yet all you have to do is take action. That's it. Put a routine, and look, man, you're going to fail every day. Something's going to happen that will hold you back, that will not let you cross the finish line. But you must keep pushing through, because I always say, you will never win if you quit. So get out there, get your team, put your people together, and don't be afraid. Like they say, closed mouths don't get fed. Closed mouths don't get fed. The squeaky wheel gets the oil. Look, man, here at Nassau, here at the Mastermind, we looking for Navy SEALs, not baby SEALs. And look, we already went from broke to millions. Now we're going from millions to billions. But look, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm telling you that it's possible. I've been around all of them now. I've been around the billionaires. I've been around the brokenaires. Yeah, we've been around the brokenaires. And I'm telling you, it's a lot fun. I'm telling you, money, being a millionaire and hang around people that's close to worth $1 billion. Look, it's fun. It's great. It's having money is right up there with oxygen. It's really, really important, but it's not everything. It's just simply a tool that allows us to get options. And if you're in the stock market, you'll realize the person with the most options typically wins. Now, with people who don't have too many options, they're a lot more focused, I can tell you that. And they leverage that to get them what they are because they have that hunger. So I want you to be hungry. Get into a routine, put your team together, and take action and go from broke to millions, because here you are one big deal away. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you real soon. Peace. Hey, let's see who's here. Oh, who we checking to see we get a t-shirt today and a book? We're giving them one, but we get a book. Two books?
Jairus and yeah.
So we give them 4 books or 2 books?
Just 2 books.
Okay, 2 books. Who are we picking today?
All right.
Somebody stayed here the entire time. Who gets the book today? Drum roll, please.
All right. We have Deshaun Smith. You get 2 books, Deshaun.
Where's Deshaun?
Deshaun Smith.
How'd you see that?
What are you looking at?
In the attended list. It's right there.
Oh, there it is. Deshaun Smith.
Deshaun Smith.
You're our winner today. Thanks so much. You're now going from broke to millions. That sounds so corny right there. Hey, let's say goodbye to everybody, man. Thanks so much for joining us again. Tell all your friends, tell your mom and your cousin and your play cousins too. And to my fake cousin that's going on vacation with us, hang in there.
You can email Walt so that Walt can send you the books.
Email Walt, Deshaun Smith. Hit that music, man. Let's say goodbye to everybody. So Deshaun, Domingo, Emily, Fernando, Gabriel, are you going all the way back? Holt, Jay, Jeffrey, Joycelyn or Thornton? Is it Jocelyn or Joycelyn? Jocelyn? All right, Jonathan, Joshua, Karen, Austin, Latoya, and we got Latoya Smith and Thomas, Lee, Lisa, Liz, Maja, Matthew. We got Mike Dawson, Mitchell, Newcom, Natasha, Nectar. We got some women in here today. Nick, Paul, Paulette, Sean, Siri, Stephen, T. McCollin, Tiffany, Tony, Trace Shell, Victor, Zakira. Is this Zakira the dancer? Okay. And Zachary. Hey, man, thanks so much for joining. Look, I hope to see you guys next week. And hey,
next week we will talk about how to raise money, guys.
How to raise money. And look, man, if you haven't, sign up for the Birth 360. The Birth 360.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, we're gonna have VIP dinners.
The
VIP is sold out.
Yeah, VIP.
We already sold a lot of tickets already.
Just come hang out with us, man. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah,
that's where the real growth happens.
The real growth. There you go, man. Hey, man. This was awesome.
Cincinnati.
Hey, man, Jairus, I had a lot of fun with you. Yeah, it's going to be in Cincinnati, Mitchell. I had a lot of fun with you today.
It was a good time. Next time we do this, let's set it up so I don't have to hold this mic on my lap the whole time. So next time we're gonna.
Maybe I should move my. Maybe I should move my studio to your studio.
I think you should move it to my
I think
studio.
I'm gonna move it. I'm gonna move it in your office.
I think so. All right, I gotta go take a protein shake after this because for the games.
Your arms are sore.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, thanks everybody. Peace.
See you guys.
Wait a minute, I won't back down, no. Wait a minute, I stand my ground, oh. Wait a minute, I'm stronger now, oh, whoa. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. You try to knock me down, you try to take my crown, but look at me now.